I wanted James to report to you today on Sheriff Joe Arpaio out of Arizona. I have to tell you, folks, I know the sheriff. I've interviewed him several times on this show. And the sheriff is a good man. He worked hard for the citizens there who voted him in Arizona. He's retired now, or he's not the sheriff anymore.
Yeah, he lost his re-election bid.
And he's 80 years old?
After several re-elections, by the way. He's 85.
He lasted forever. He got re-elected over and over and over and over again. The liberals hate him. Obama hated him. The Department of Justice under Obama hated him. The illegal aliens hate him. And the illegal alien supporters hate him. Yep. And the ACLU hate him. And they've been going after this man for years. And now...
Finally, a judge...
This is according to NBC News.
Yeah, according to NBC News, Sheriff Joe Arpaio was found guilty of misdemeanor contempt of court by a Clinton-appointed judge for arresting illegal aliens just for being here illegally and turning them over to ICE.
Isn't that amazing? Go ahead.
The ACLU and National Council of La Raza, who changed their name to Unidos US.
Unidos US?
Yeah.
What's that mean?
Sounds nicer than La Raza, because we all know how evil they are.
Yeah.
As well as Obama's DOJ have been attacking Arpaio and accusing him of racial profiling. A George W. Bush-appointed judge ruled in 2013 that he had been racially profiling and to stop. He could get 6 months in jail, but more likely it's just going to get a fine, according to lawyers. He does plan to appeal because he feels he should have been tried before a jury, and his lawyers say that the judge, this female judge who found him in so-called criminal contempt or misdemeanor contempt, had violated his constitutional rights by not reading the verdict to him. And he says that he did not understand the prior order not to be arresting illegals. And that was partly because he doesn't have a smartphone and he doesn't do email and all that stuff because he's so old-fashioned.
Right on. From the old school.
Yeah.
Sheriff Arpaio is a good man, folks. Let him know how you feel about him. All right? Contact him. Let him know. Pull up 1-1A there and B, Joel. Let him know that you care about him, all right? Because they're going after him. One thing that the liberals do, and they don't stop, and this is why I tell you that the battle is good versus evil, right versus wrong. Anyone who stands up for what is right, never mind your color, never mind male or female, evil, which is the left, the right-o Republicans, the Democrats, the liberal media, the radicals out there, radical homosexuals, they go after good and try to stop it. They go after it. They fight like the children of Satan to stop it. And these people don't want America to be safe. They don't want America to be great again. They don't want us one nation under God because it puts them out of work. They want votes and money. Sheriff Joe Arpaio is a strong man. He loves his country. He loves Arizona. He gave his word when they voted for him. I'm going to do all I can to protect you. But the children of the lie do not want that. It's not about race, folks. And we who are on the side of good have to keep saying this over and over and over again so we can change the dialogue. We've allowed the enemies to do this for too long. So here's the final soundbite with Sheriff Joe Arpaio out of Arizona. The man loved the country. He loves Arizona. He kept his word that he would be a good sheriff. And the enemies of good do not want that. Here's the final soundbite.
The former sheriff declined an interview today and steered us to his lawyers. Here's what they said as they walked out of the courthouse after closing arguments earlier this month.
We only had to demonstrate that he's not guilty, but we proved that he's innocent.
Excellent point. We didn't have the burden, but we took on the burden and actually took all their witnesses and made them into our witnesses.
They claimed Joe Arpaio didn't mean to ignore the federal court ruling because he was out of the loop, didn't use email, didn't have a smartphone. His underlings gave him bad legal advice. Judge Bolton simply didn't buy it. But Mr. Arpaio's defense team vows to appeal. Quote, today, Judge Susan Bolton violated the United States Constitution by issuing her verdict without even reading it to the defendant in public court. Her verdict is contrary to what every single witness testified in this case. Arpaio believes that a jury would have found in his favor, and it will. Now, if an appeal doesn't work, there is always the possibility of a presidential pardon. And Joe Arpaio has a good friend in the White House by the name of Donald J. Trump.
Right on. The sheriff, Donald J. Trump, reminds me of the sheriff.
Yeah.
The sheriff doesn't back down. Whenever I interviewed him, I loved talking to him. What a man. So check out the sheriff, whatever you can do to help this man. We got to stick together. Those on the side of good must stick together. We got to fight together with good in the same manner evil is fighting together. They stick together for evil. Let's stick together for good. So support Sheriff Joe Arpaio of Arizona. He's fighting for his life right now, right? His wife, poor wife, she's having to deal with this. So check out his website and do what you can to help. Look at him. Tough man. Remind me of our granddaddy.